Hi, I'm Makasiahu Mac. Are you ready to make the best salsa in the world? It's quick and easy. Let's get started.
Okay guys, we have our fresh ingredients list for today. We have Roma tomatoes. I prefer using Roma tomatoes. They have a much better flavor for salsa and they're just much more appropriate. We're going to use some sea salt. We're going to use some serrano peppers. Depending on how spicy you like your salsa, you could use one pepper to make it mild. You could use two to make it medium hot, and you could use three or four and make it extremely hot if that's how you like it. We're using fresh garlic. We're using fresh cilantro, about a quarter of an onion, and we're going to use some organic tomato sauce as well. So those are the ingredients that you'll want to have ready to go to make this wonderful salsa. Okay, the first thing that I like to do, and this is really what separates my salsa from other people's and definitely from store-bought salsa, most of them anyway, is that I like to completely burn my peppers first. Obviously this works much better if you have a fire stove. I don't have a fire stove. I have an electric range, and essentially it's going to work the same. What you'll want to do, and you have to be careful not to burn yourself obviously, but what you'll want to do is move these peppers around so that they completely turn black on the outside. This is going to introduce a beautiful flavor into your salsa. Fire roasted peppers, nothing like it. Now this obviously is not a fire, but it's doing the same thing. With these peppers, sometimes it is because the way that they want to roll around, it can be a little difficult. So what I recommend is sometimes pushing them down so that they kind of get a nice surface that they can rest on, because they will, because by the nature of their shape, they'll want to roll into the same position every time. So it's okay to sort of press them down and make sure that they are coming into full contact with your heat source. I imagine you could also do this on a barbecue grill. It would probably give it a wonderful flavor as well, and possibly leverage some of the taste signature that's part of your grill. So I highly recommend that. Doesn't take too long, but what you want to do is make sure that you're completely charring it. It releases some of the oils out of the seeds and gives a wonderful flavor to your salsa. And as you can see, these are pretty quickly becoming pretty charred. Okay, so those are looking pretty good. You could take those off. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to a couple of tomatoes. We're not going to do it to all of them, but we definitely want that taste introduced. There is something amazing about the taste of a fire roasted tomato, and that's something we definitely want integrated into our salsa. Okay, now that we have our peppers fire roasted and a couple of our tomatoes fire roasted. We're now ready to go. You should have cut the rest of your tomatoes into fourths is appropriate, I think. You're basically just giving your food processor a little bit of an extra hand. You don't want to put whole tomatoes in there. And go ahead and put your tomatoes in that you didn't fire roast. We'll put those in first. Next thing, we're going to put in our fire roasted tomatoes. And these will go right on top. Next thing, we're going to put in our cilantro. And it should have been fairly well destemmed, obviously cleaned. Make sure that there's no bugs, etc. We're going to put in our onion, and you can break up the quarter into little pieces like this and sort of distribute them. Help your food processor out just a little bit. We're going to put in our salt, and this is done to taste. I never measure my salt. I put in what I think is appropriate, and then I adjust as needed. You're going to want to put in about 2/3 of your tomato sauce. And lastly, you'll want to put just a little bit of water to help things move in your food processor. And your food processor is crucial. Okay, now that we have our food processor ready to go, we're going to gently pulse it a little bit. Just like so, to get things situated in there. And then we're going to turn it on low. You can Okay, so now we're going to add in just a little bit more water to adjust the viscosity just a bit so that it's not too thick and unmovable. So here we go. Now we're going to turn it to high, and we're going to let this just go for about a minute or two. All right, let's give this a taste. Make sure we have enough salt. Could use a little bit more salt. Put in a little salt, and I'm going to add in just a little bit more of the tomato sauce, just to make it a little bit more rich. All right, so let's give it a little. That is amazing salsa, and we are ready to serve this.
Okay guys, there it is. Homemade fresh salsa. This is, in my opinion, the best salsa in the world. This is actually the salsa that I used yesterday in my arroz con pollo recipe. If you want to make that recipe and you want to make it like I do, make the salsa first and then embark on the arroz con pollo recipe. I will say this, not all chips are created equal. I stumbled upon these. I was reluctant to buy them. $5 for a little bag of chips, but they are amazing. Chips do make a difference. However, go with the ones that you like, and I promise you that it will be amazing. Anyway, this is amazing salsa. I hope that you try the recipe, and I hope that you enjoy it. Please leave your comments, like, and subscribe. Thank you very much.